Okay. Today I'm going to do a painting of a white flower, a lotus flower, and I'm planning to paint a darker background than I usually do. I traced the drawing off of my monitor, my larger external monitor, and now I'm going to transfer it to my watercolor paper, and I'll show you that process. So I have a tablet here that I've made some of my own transfer sheets, and so they're inside this tablet. I keep them here so that they're flat. And this is a larger transfer sheet I made a long time ago with graphite. I have some white Cero transfer paper too that I could, if I want to put a line on a dark background, I can do that. But with this transfer paper, just make sure you have it facing the correct way and slip it underneath your drawing. I've put tape here at the top so that it won't move while I'm transferring. And let's see here, it came loose a little bit, so we straighten it out. Oh, I have a kitty that wants to be involved again. Oh, well, I'll just have to get more water. There's no paint in there, so it should be okay. Wants to participate. All right, so I have sort of a makeshift thing here that I'm using because I wanted to just work on my table instead of an easel today. So what I have is a line drawing of a lotus. I think I can even show you the photo. It's on my computer. I have my computer so I can see it too, you see. So it's not real large, but I have glasses, so let me go ahead and transfer it. I'll start up here. Some people like to use a colored pencil so they can see where they already transferred, but the line should end up being darker, so hopefully I'll be able to tell what I've already transferred. I don't know why water is so much better from a painting container. I have 3 fountains in here, you know, that run for my cats, but they prefer my painting water. And I don't know if I'll transfer, well, I'll just sort of indicate some of these background shapes.
The kitties like your attention, Sylvia.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday after class, I had to repair some damage done by raccoons in the night. I bought these beautiful like water hyacinth plants for my pond, and they were just starting to get their flowers, and the raccoons came in the night and tore them apart and dismantled my fountain and all of that. So I got this netting and I went out and I spent time covering the pond with this really fine net. And I was thinking, oh, I'll bet they're going to come again in the night and do it again. But I got up this morning and it was intact. So we'll see how long that lasts. Anybody else have raccoon problems?
We have a pond, and we used to have very large goldfish about the size of koi. And we came home one evening some years ago, and there were a few scales and a bunch of raccoon crayons.
Oh no, and they were gone, huh?
They were gone.
Oh dear. Yeah. One time I lived on Vashon Island. I don't know why I left my upstairs window slightly open, but when I came back after being gone for a week, there were all these little raccoon prints on the wall, going down the wall from in my bedroom. and little raccoon prints around my house. It didn't really do much damage, but they sure probably had a good time coming in and having, taken over my house while I was gone. I had a grape arbor over the porch and they came up on that to eat the grapes. And then they thought, oh, there's an open window. Let's see what's there. Usually I check to make sure my line is transferring before I do so much. But we'll just have to hope that it's working this time. So I'm just drawing the outline of the stamens inside. That's going to be kind of soft anyway. Can't tell if I don't think I transferred that. Okay, I think I got most of it. Oh, no, I don't think I did. You always have to check because there's usually a line you forgot or left off.
What type of transfer paper are you using? Are you using Cerol?
No, I made this myself with graphite.
Oh,
With graphite and rubber cement thinner, but when I don't use my own, I use Cerol.
okay.
I think Cheryl has a different brand that she uses. Okay. So I think this is okay. Sometimes, oh, I did miss one petal. Okay. I can just freehand it though. Well, maybe one good thing about tracing paper is you can see if you left something off, you can easily put it back because you can see through it. So. Just get that and get it in the right place. Okay. So one thing that I think I should do, because I want to do this dark background, is instead of using dry pigment, I think I should squeeze some fresh pigment out because it'll be more intense and it will. I don't want to have to do a lot of layers, so I want to try to do a really good layer without having to go back in. And I'm looking at my pigments and thinking about which ones I want to use. And I don't know if I need to be careful about staining or non-staining, but I've got a nice phthalo blue here. I've got a cerulean. I've got French ultramarine. See if I have a Prussian in here. I have a phthalo green. And my cobalt.
Those phthalos are insanely staining. So
I know, that's why I have to think seriously about whether I want to use them. But I'm gonna paint around the flower. And then I have this beautiful cobalt turquoise light. Maybe I shouldn't take a chance with staining this time. And here's a better tube of cobalt. And then on my palette, I have some Prussian also. And one thing I think I might want to get is a little bit of perylene green. Let me go and get my perylene green. I think I'm just going to paint carefully. Get out my favorite brushes, my big round, my 6 and 8. And then because I'm doing, there's some sharp points in here, I might end up using a flat brush too for parts of it. So I've got this flat brush also. And I've got a mister, a spray bottle, in case I need to spray a little bit. And I think I'm all set. Okay, let me squeeze out some fresh paint. I hope you guys are painting, some of you at least.
we're watching.
Okay. I don't know.
Are you going to use any? Are you going to use any burnt sienna? Because I'm thinking that might combine nicely with the green too.
I should do that. I'm moving this camera because it's just getting in my way. I have to be able to reach my paper and everything. Yeah, let's see now. I don't know. Where is my burnt sienna? I'm gonna get some fresh burnt sienna too, even though I have some on my palette. I'm gonna get the fresh stuff. Oh, here it is, right here. Oh, let's see, did I put some ultramarine blue out? Oh, there it is. Here's ultramarine. And there are some edges that are, they're not hard edges, but they're soft, so I'll have to time when I do paint the background to where I can get the effect that I want. So now, just gonna take a minute to really look at this and think about the approach I want to take. I think I'll do my background first, just because if I mess up on it, I won't have taken the time to already have painted the flower. That makes some sense, I think. So let's go ahead and figure out, okay, I don't have any yellows in here. I've got my other palette, it's just that. Maybe I should just squeeze out some fresh paint for that too. So here's Aureola. And then I need a warmer yellow too. I probably should get some. Probably should actually have fresh of all the colors, but I don't have time to go and deal with that. Oh, here's a cad red. I know that's, I guess I don't really need that. All right. Ready to get started. Gonna take my other palette too, though, and put it over here, so I have a little more variety of color.
Frankly, I like that you're limiting your palette.
Yeah, I know, but you know me, I have a very hard time limiting.
I
things.
do know you, and you know me, so.
Yeah, you know, it's not gonna be easy for me. I might break down. I might have to adjust.
It's funny.
Yeah. I think everything's okay, but not in excess. All right. Okay, so. All right, I think it's an ultramarine blue, or no, let's see. I'm gonna start with, I like cobalt blue a lot, so I'm gonna start with it. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this violet into it. Now I'm going to spray. No, I guess I better not. I'll have to use another brush and wet the background a little bit, or just come back, just be brave, Sylvia, and just. I want some somewhat soft edges, so I'm gonna spray it a little bit after I paint this part. Or maybe just pull out some color with my brush.
Is there a flower above that blue that is that why you have that curved line?
Well, there's a lily pad and a shadow. I mean, I should make it go beyond the shadow. Yeah, maybe I'll make it, I'll just come back in with another layer here. Well, already I'm getting that problem with the cauliflower thing. Now I'm putting some with this violet in here.
You said violet, do you mean, is that dioxazine purple, or is that?
Bright violet it's called. Okay, now, this is one of the lighter values in the photo, so I have to be careful not to get too dark. But remember, it dries lighter too, so. See here, trying to figure out my photo here. Oh, that's the leaf. Oh yeah, I don't have my Hooker's green in here. Getting darker with this area here. I'm gonna put some burnt sienna in French ultramarine blue right in here. I want to get some darks in there fairly quickly so that I have a better sense of values. And we bring a little bit of this cobalt turquoise in, which is a little bit more of an opaque color.
It may be granulating too, I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm starting to get nervous about these big flat spots. Well, this is that heavy saw. I'm not sure I like this where you go in and just do, maybe it's better to wet the background first. Let's do the top part now.
You might need to, oh, there, move the camera a little
Oh, yeah.
so we can see.
Yeah, I guess it kind of slanted down. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's hard to keep track of everything when you're in the midst of something.
Oh, yeah, it takes full concentration.
Mhm. Okay, on this, I'm gonna wet it first and then put the color in.
Well, you're showing different approaches. I think it's cool. You're out of your comfort zone, but you're brave, so
Well,
kudos.
that's how it works. That's how we learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to mention that your sketch really helps you so you can do sections
Yeah,
where and it doesn't make you force you to have to go all around.
That's-
So the sketch is great for that.
yeah, I'm glad that I just did that transfer. So here I'm putting in, this has got some viridian, but it's also probably got some contamination from a blue too, so. I'm finding that I love cool greens a lot more than the warm greens. Some of the warm greens are a little harsh and garish. Might have to get a fan or something. Okay, now it's gotta mix up a little bit of a darker color here. More green.
Best meditation ever watching you paint this background.
I wish I felt meditative. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull some of this darker tone down.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious at the top there, if you wanted that to dry hard above the flower,
No,
that blue.
I don't, so I'll have to fix that. Thanks, Cheryl.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, I have some dark here. This is a much darker too, so. Oh, needs more green. I want to go with my hands this way so I don't obstruct your view. Okay, now we need to get a little more greenish as we go down this way. Isn't the best brush to be using because my point isn't quite sharp enough. But it's got the paint on it. You know, it's missing quinacridone gold.
That's what I have on my brush.
Yeah.
You can always glaze that in and over when it's dry.
Okay, I wanted to like spatter it in though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's just I don't have it right here handy right now.
Well, you've got the aureole and, you know,
Yeah.
good is good enough.
Oh, wait, I think I have some on my other palette. Yeah, I do. Remember, you want to put some colors into it that are in your flower. Right, this part up here. I'm getting some cauliflowers down here or some, yeah, hard edges. A good hard edge there. Okay. I think there's some blue in there I missed.
That's looking really nice, Sylvia.
Thanks. You have to continually look at your edges as you're painting. Dark spots there. It's okay if it has kind of a watery feel after all. Look at what the subject matter is. There's a little bit of blue up in here. I don't know if I can bring it in or not now. Oh, it's a little strong. One thing about the salt is that you can always make it a little darker if it's too much, but at least it's gives you something to start with. I don't have, what I'm painting now isn't in my photo because I cropped it off. I'm just ad-libbing.
You're allowed to do that?
I gave myself permission.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm bringing a little bit more green into this area here. Oops, just messed up. Putting some burnt sienna into this to warm it up a little bit. This dark. I think I should switch to a different brush now.
You haven't mentioned anything about points of darkness, but you've already been putting it in.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. I'm thinking about, wanting to make the white flower stand out more, so.
It just comes naturally after all these years.
Yeah, it does start to, doesn't it? You don't think when you get used to painting, it just kind of goes with the whole thing.
And it's amazing how it helped the flower take form early on just by doing those touches.
And also just having your background in, it kind of gives you confidence then as far as finishing up. And then you think, oh, I don't have as far to go, So I haven't put in much of this cobalt turquoise, and I'd like to start putting some of that in. Let's see. I think I'll just, to get it spread it around, I'll do a little spatter of it over in here. A little more quinacridone gold too. If I hadn't started teaching these classes, I wouldn't have even known about quinacridone gold. You guys taught me about it. I love what happens with that gold and the way it kind of mingles with the other colors. Okay, now there's this other, a little bit of burnt sienna. There's some splotches up here I gotta break up a little bit, so. Now I'm gonna spray it slightly. At this point, I want to clean up some of the shape of my flower a little bit more. So I'm going to come back in now and look at the places in between, you know, like the little points in here. The brush I was using didn't have such a sharp point. I do want to, I'm going to depart a little bit from what I see here because I do want to have some lost edges like what we were talking about. So I'll probably pull some color into the petals too from the background. Like here. And then here's my violet. Oh, I wish I could see my photo a little better. Let's see if I can get it closer. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with the background. At least I have it to the point where I can paint on the flower. I have to lift a little of that up there. You know, I'm gonna have to soften, I've got to take my kneaded eraser and lift some of the graphite on the flower because it's too dark. It was okay with up next to the background, but not within the white flower. What did I do with my kneaded eraser? So I just use it like a stamp and press down and it will lift. I have to move it so it doesn't get more graphite on it. But it really helps to do this before you paint.
Yeah, it's best to do it early on too, because once you paint over it, you kind of sunk.
Right.
Sylvia, again, what was that you're using?
Called a kneaded,
Oh, right. Okay, thanks.
and I keep it in this little container so it won't get dirty. Otherwise, it picks up all kinds of grit and stuff like that. I've been known to drop it in the sand, you know, when I was painting at the beach. That's not good. So already here, I painted up next to that line and it's there. But it's a darker area, so it should be okay. I've had this transfer sheet for a long time and it's still pretty good.
Sylvia, it's Susan. Do you then leave those pencil lines after you're finished or erase them once you finish the flower? How does that work?
Well, they won't come off if I've already.
They won't. Okay.
Only way to deal with them is to make sure you have a dark enough edge up next to it in your paint.
I see.
So I've lightened them quite a bit, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But yeah, it's important to take care of that before you paint over it.
Okay.
And
Thank
now
you.
little specks too. I don't think I really want some of those little specks on my petals. It might not be too bad because that's a part of what I'm doing with the style, but still. Could be pollen, you know. Oops, I just got some more paint off of. There, okay.
If that's the case, I've got Quinn Violet pollen on mine.
Oh yeah, Quinn Violet, okay. I'm gonna put some of the yellows now. Oh, I just knocked a bright down. I want to get a little more a variety of color on here. So the yellow that's in the center is a yellow I don't really have on my palette. Let me see if I have another palette that has it. No, that's a different palette that has that, so. Let me see. I have a whole bunch of yellows, but of course I don't have that color right on this palette. It's not really aureolin yellow, it's more of a lighter yellow. I'll be right back. Here's a lemon yellow. I got an old tube of lemon yellow. I'm gonna use it.
Just out of curiosity, what's the pigment number?
Let's see, just a second. It's boy, this is an old tube. Let's see if I can.
Don't worry. I was just curious because
Nickel,
depending on the brand.
nickel, might be type, let's see.
That's all right.
PY 32, does that sound reasonable? I'm not sure. Kind of looks like that. It's probably a tube I have from Hallmark.
There's Nicolazo yellow, I know, which is a good one.
I have that one, but I couldn't find it. But this is the color I want, so. putting a little bit of this cobalt turquoise in here in the shadow side, which is not really the color I see, but I'll probably modify it, but I like it. Wanted to try it.
Which one is it?
Cobalt turquoise light.
Okay.
Again, which yellow are you using?
Lemon yellow.
Thank you.
Mhm. Now I need a little bit of a warmer green.
And the designation lemon yellow can vary brand by brand, which
Oh.
is why I asked the question about pigment number.
This is Winsor and Newton.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what we used at Hallmark. Now I'm warming up this color just a little bit here with, I think it's a little bit of quinacridone gold actually. Or no, it's not. Let's see, what is it? What is it? Huh, I can't remember what I put there. Now I'm going to take a little bit of sap green, just a little bit here. There's a little bit of a warm tone, so I'm dropping a little bit of this bright violet into the shadow. Putting a bit of quinacridone gold next to the violet, and then I'm gonna, so that it won't be, if I put yellow, it would be more like brown, but this works together pretty well. And now, let's see, I think I'll put a little cobalt in here. Well, mixed with just a little bit of burnt sienna, because it's a slight gray tone. And then a little bit of viridian. There's a white edge I want to try to preserve. The white of paper. I need to get a little darker with this. I want it to be too blue, but I don't want it to be too gray or too brown. Pulling out some lines. I want to get a little stronger with the color in the center, toward the center here. And it's got some quinacridone gold in there too, I think. Definitely has it on this petal. It makes it kind of glow. And this might seem a little bizarre, but I'm going to put a little bit of opera in there.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah. I still haven't put in enough purple.
I had to jump over and look at the reference photo to see, because I had been wondering why there's so much greenish in the petals. Presumably they're petals that you've been painting, but they're there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lower petals,
Well, in traditional flowers, you have the sepals, that enclose the flower as a bud and then it opens up. But
Oh,
the lotus flower, I don't know if it has sepals or not, but the green is definitely there.
yeah. No, it's still too wet for me to do a little more shading yet. Maybe right on the point here and here I could, but want to get a little bit darker here, but maybe not quite that dark. All right, let's see here. I have about a half an hour left. So I need to make good use of my time. Hmm. It's hard knowing what color, because you want to have uniformity within your flower. You don't want to have colors that are so different on each petal, but there are very subtle differences. This is a hard thing to figure out which color to use. Oops, that got too dark, but I need some little dark points to draw from. This might be too much, but I haven't painted the rest, so I'm gonna hold off before I lift it, just because it might be okay once I get the other colors in.
It's only getting better and better. So,
Good. Tim, have you done botanicals with oil before? Like close-ups of flowers or?
not in any serious way, a few aborted attempts, but which
Well, you like painting landscapes.
I do, and I was out with you at Seaside Gardens, and I had every intention of doing those aloes.
Uh-huh,
Haven't gotten around to finishing them yet.
yeah. I hope you do, because you had some good starts.
Well, I've got some good starts on some drawings this morning of Belliscardo from the other day, so
Good.
that's my focus at the moment.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, better hold off on that. Let me get some of this center part in. I'm gonna take some quinacridone gold. There might be some cat orange in here too. Get my smaller brush. I can't paint that way, but my hand doesn't go that direction, upside down. Putting some opera in here too.
Sylvia, this is Susan. I chose the same reference photo to try, and I thought, how on earth am I going to paint all that white? And I realized there's so many colors in there that you're showing me. This is so helpful. So thank you so much for choosing it.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
I think maybe I should have tried to get rid of a little bit more graphite. Or maybe just go darker with some of the values up next to it. There's always gouache, you know.
Or just living with it, you know? I mean,
Maybe, yeah,
if you look close up at Hopper paintings, you'll see his pencil lines, so,
oh, and Sargent too.
yeah.
I'm getting a little more rough with some of my strokes right now because I want to have sort of a loose look to it. Let's see here. Now you have to start looking at where the whitest whites are. Now you want to start making some adjustments to the values between petals, like, you know, where they have overlapping petal. I want to try to bring a little green into some of these too, because remember, you've got the green of the lily, the pads. So you want to bring a little bit of that into your petals too, in places.
I think you made a good decision early on to not use those staining color stuff,
Yeah,
because there's so much subtlety going on here,
right.
and you wouldn't have that with a staining color.
Yeah, that would have been a challenge, that's for sure. Okay, underneath the seed pod, there's a kind of a yellow green. It's a like a lemon yellow with a little bit of a warm, well, yeah, a little bit of a darker green. So let's see what we can do with that. Might have to put a little gold into that. And actually, you know how ellipses do, it goes around. Move my, move it so I can paint it better. If I can get this just a little closer so you can see it better. About ready to get the gouache and touch up edges, but I'm not really completely done with the shading.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, thanks. It could use more tweaking, of course, you know, that's generally the case, but oh, and I haven't done the stems or the bud. Oh my gosh. Well, it's impossible, isn't it, to do it all?
You did use salt, right?
Yeah, of course.
Silly of me to ask.
Putting a little bit of opera into the bud. Oops, my brush is getting in the way of the camera. And the bud has to go darker, but I want to just get some of this white out of the way. Okay, so let's see, let's do a dark green for the stem. I'm using some Prussian blue here because it's dark. Down here at the bottom, I didn't paint one area, probably because I couldn't see what it was there. Okay. I want this seed pod to stand out, so I have to get a little bit darker on the flower. The edge above it. And putting some quinacridone gold in here too. Okay, little dots. Where's my burnt sienna? Might be too dark, so let me tone it down.
I was glad to see that you rotated your frame around because your hand doesn't go that way, you know, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's like, okay. It just doesn't, it's not a natural.
Yeah. That's something Thomas Schaller, for example, does all the time. He rotates it around. So,
Well, when
you
you're
know,
you do that, right?
I'm sorry.
You're an illustrator, you do that all the time.
Yeah. I know Colin Gray used to do that a lot too in his drawing class. Just make your life easier wherever you can.
Exactly. This is not the perfect placement of these little dots. But
Sylvia, is the salt still on the painting or have you taken it off?
it's still there.
It's still there. Okay.
I'm not that, I might, like, with a rubber cement pickup or something, I might just, rub it. Okay, the part I haven't done, I don't like those dots I'm spraying it, so they'll spread out a little. They might spread out too much, but better to have it kind of soft. Now I'm gonna get some gouache. I still need to really work on the flower and edges, but at least I've got the basic colors and values. So let me squeeze out a little gouache here. Mainly I look at the points up here, where I want to have a cleaner point. An edge. Oh, I have those acrylic marker pens that Elise told me about in the other class. I should get those. That would probably go really fast. But maybe I'll do that when I do more. I'm just showing you the process right now. Because it's not making it quite as opaque as I'd like it to be. This is a pretty important part of this because you want to have, you get sloppy when you're painting, and so you don't preserve all those edges sometimes, or at least I get sloppy. And oh dear, I see so many things that need adjustment. Anyway, you get the idea, right?
I wouldn't say you're sloppy. You're doing a demo. It's amazing how sharp this is, and you didn't mask or anything. You were doing negative painting.
Trying to work with this camera that's so close to my work. So if I go down, I don't know if I can show. See if I could show. Well, you can't see the photo. You'll see that I need to get darker. If I, said I was going to get darker with the background, I still probably need to do that, especially around the top part, like around here.
I think if you back off and look at it from a distance, you'll say, wow, that's a really nice painting.
Amen.
We'll see. And then the stem needs to get darker. But these are all adjustments that won't even really take that long. It's just the basic stuff is there. So